Good morning to all of you. Some people are still entering the hall, so if it's okay with you, we will wait for a few more minutes. We thank you so much for joining us today for a testimony that will be given by Jakov, the youngest of 6 Medjugorje visionaries. And we are so thankful to him for giving his time to meet all of you pilgrims from all over the world. So welcome to all of you, and Jakov, thank you for being with us.
Ovaj aplauz nije za mene.
This applause, Jakov is saying, is not for me.
To je za Gospu.
This applause is for Our Lady. We give her a free applause.
Evo reci, ja ću malo odmoriti, jutros imam toliko obaveza.
Jakov is saying, it's been such a hectic morning for me, this one. So this is a little bit of rest for me that I'm going to take now with you.
Hoćemo samo zatvoriti vrata, profesor.
If we could ask some of our colleagues to close the doors. Now you're stuck with us. We won't let you go.
Jer radi klima.
Jakov saying air conditioning is on so that you're comfortable.
Još bih samo nešto zamolio.
One other thing that Jakov says I would like to ask you.
Ostavimo mobitele sad.
Leave your mobile phones and cameras apart now.
Previše smo na mobitelu.
We're spending too much time using phones.
Pa evo neka odlučimo sada u vrijeme da ne budemo makar.
Let's decide now that for a while we're not going to use phones.
Evo ja ih sve želim prvo pozdraviti.
Jakov says at the very beginning, I would like to greet you all.
Lijepo ih je vidjeti u velikom broju.
It's beautiful to see you in this unbelievable number here.
Koja radost.
What a joy.
Koja radost za svakog onoga hodočasnika koji je došao svojoj majci.
What a joy for every pilgrim who has come here to his or her mother.
Onoj majci koja ga želi dovesti do glavnog cilja.
The mother who desires to bring you all to the main goal.
A to je Isus Krist.
And that is Jesus Christ.
Evo, ja svjedočim ovdje 41 godina.
I've been here giving testimonies for 40 years now.
Koliko sam pitanja samo dobio od hodočasnika.
And pilgrims have asked me so many questions.
Evo, da li mogu sad ja njima jedno pitanje postaviti?
But can I ask you one question? Now, myself.
Jesu li sretni?
Are you happy?
Zato što su danas ovdje.
Are you happy to be able here today, now in Medjugorje?
A da li znaju zašto su ovdje?
And do you know why you're here?
Nisu slučajno.
You're not here by an accident.
Čak i oni koji misle da su došli slučajno.
Even those who think that they arrived here by case.
Ništa nije slučajno.
Nothing happens by accident.
Mi smo ovdje svi zato što nas je Gospa pozvala.
We are all here because Our Lady invited us to come here.
Mi smo ovdje zato što je Bog želio da budemo tu.
We are here because God wanted all of us to be here.
Mi smo danas mogli biti na mnogim drugim raznim mjestima.
We could have been today at this moment at many other different places.
Koji su mnogo ljepši od Medjugorja.
Maybe some places that are even more beautiful than Medjugorje.
Neko turističko mjesto.
Maybe some tourist spots where there is ocean and the sea.
A ovdje oko nas je kamen.
And yet here around us we have only rocks and stones.
Ali neka razumiju.
But I believe you'll understand.
Ovaj svaki kamen je blagoslovljen.
Every single stone here is a holy one, a blessed one.
Jer je Gospa došla na taj kamen.
Because Our Lady stepped on that stone.
Oni su odgovorili na Gospin poziv.
You have responded to Our Lady's call.
Kao što Gospa kaže u svojoj poruci, na kraju svake poruke.
And as Our Lady says, at the end of every message that she gives,
hvala vam što ste se odazvali mome pozivu.
Thank you for having responded to my call.
Ali Gospod kaže tu prvu riječ.
But Our Lady always says this first word.
Hvala.
She says, thank you.
Riječ koju mi često zaboravljamo reći.
A word that very often we forget to say.
Ja u istinu vjerujem
And I truly believe, Jakov says,
da je to ono prvo što moramo ovdje izreći kada dođemo u
that
Medjugorje.
that's the very first word that we have to say when we come here to Medjugorje.
Zahvaliti Gospodinu.
We have to give thanks to the Lord.
Zahvaliti Gospodinu na svim ovim godinama.
To give thanks to the Lord for all these years.
Da nam šalje svoju majku zbog nas.
He is sending us His mother because of us.
Tu prepoznajemo kolika je Božja ljubav prema nama.
And we can see how much God loves us and how immeasurable love of His is for each one of us.
Onda vidimo Gospod. Onda vidimo i Gospod.
And then we see Our Lady.
Koja nam kaže,
Our Lady says to us,
draga djeco,
she says, dear children,
da vi znate koliko vas ja volim,
if you only knew how much I loved you,
vi bi plakali od radosti.
you would cry out of joy.
Oni su svojim dolaskom učinili prvi korak.
By your coming here to Medjugorje, you made your first step.
Ali sada trebamo shvatiti što je Medjugorje.
And now we have to understand what Medjugorje is all about.
A da bi uistinu shvatili što je Medjugorje,
And in order to be able to understand what Medjugorje is all about,
to ne možemo ako nemamo čisto srce.
we can't do it if our hearts are not purified.
I ako naše srce nije slobodno.
And if our hearts are not free.
Zato stanemo na red
That's why we should all stand in that queue.
koji nas vodi do ispovedalnice.
That queue that brings us to the confessional box.
Gdje ćemo sloboditi svoje srce od grijeha.
And in confession, we're going to set our hearts free from sin.
Jer kada je tvoje srce slobodno i čisto,
Because when your hearts are free and clean,
ono je otvoreno prema svakoj Božjoj milosti.
your hearts are open for every grace that comes from God.
A svi znamo da je Medjugorje mjesto milosti.
And we all do know that Medjugorje is a place of grace.
Evo uzmimo samo nekoliko primjera.
Let's take just few examples.
Koliko obraćanja,
How many people converted through Medjugorje?
koliko ispovjedi.
How many people came here and went to confession?
Kada ti čovjek kaže,
When a person says to you,
ja sam se ispovjedio nakon 50 godina,
I went to confession after 50 years,
sada shvaćam što je život.
and now I understand truly what life means.
Koliko svećeničkih poziva,
How many priests received vocation here through Medjugorje?
koliko molitvenih skupina u svijetu.
How many prayer groups throughout the world were born here in
Ja
Medjugorje?
vjerujem da ne postoji mjesto u svijetu gdje se nije čulo za Medjugorje.
And I believe that in every single corner of this world, people have heard about Medjugorje.
Ne zbog mene,
Not because of me, Jakov says,
već upravo zato što je Bog želio preko tih ljudi koji su doživjeli svoje braćenje ovdje.
but because God wanted it to be so, and it happened through the people who received the gift of conversion in Medjugorje.
Koji su postali Gospini apostoli u svijetu.
And they have become Our Lady's apostles throughout the world.
Mi tražimo mnoge znakove.
We are looking for many signs.
Toliko puta gledamo u sunce da li ćemo vidjeti neki znak.
Very often we're looking at the sun and waiting if we're going to see a sign.
Zar nije najveći znak kada se čovjek obrati?
But isn't it the greatest sign to see how a person is converted and changed?
Kada upozna Isusa Krista,
When a person gets to know Jesus Christ,
kada upozna Boga kao svoga Oca,
when a person gets to know God as his or her only Father,
to je najljepši znak.
that's the most beautiful
Ti
sign.
možeš vidjeti mnoge znakove,
We may see different signs,
a najveći znak se treba desiti u našem srcu.
but the greatest sign has to happen in our heart.
Još jednu stvar da razjasnim.
And one other thing that I would like to clarify.
Medjugorje nisu vidioci.
Medjugorje is not about us visionaries.
Da li ne vide nešto posebno?
Are you looking at something special now? At someone special now?
Ne.
No, he says, no.
Ja sam čovjek kao i svi oni.
I'm a human, like all of you.
Čovjek koji griješi,
A man who makes mistakes.
koji ima svoje padove, uspone.
A man who has his ups and downs.
Ali hvala Bogu
But thanks be to God,
da sam ga upoznao kao svoga Oca
I'm so grateful to him because I was able to meet him as my own father.
i koji mu uvijek pruži ruku da se uzdignem da idem dalje.
And who is always here for me to offer me his hand to get me up so that I can continue and move on.
Medjugorje je mjesto, kao što sam rekao, obraćanja.
Medjugorje is a place of conversion, as I've
I
just
zbog
said.
toga kažem svim hodočasnicima.
And that's why I say to all the pilgrims,
Čuće mnoga svjedočanstva.
you're going to listen to many testimonies,
Sve je to lijepo.
and all this is beautiful.
Ali prije svega, Medjugorje je mjesto molitve.
In the first place, Medjugorje is a place of prayer.
Gdje ćemo izgovoriti onu jednu riječ koja je veoma važna.
And here in Medjugorje, we are to pronounce one very important word,
Koje će izreći naše srce.
the word that our heart will say.
A to je vrlo jednostavna riječ.
And that's a very simple word,
A to je da.
and that is yes.
Da prema Isusu.
Yes to Jesus.
Da prema Gospodu.
Yes to Our Lady.
Reći jednostavno.
Simply just to say,
Gospodine,
Lord,
ja se predajem u tvoje ruke.
I surrender in your hands.
Predajem ti svoj život.
I surrender my life.
Ti me vodi.
You guide me.
I učini od moga života ono što ti želiš.
And make out of my life what you want to do.
Kako je lijepo vidjeti uvijek što me posebno impresionira.
Jakov says, I'm always very specially impressed, and something absolutely beautiful for me to see always is,
Kada sam i malo prije rekao
as I've just shared with you,
da su oni danas mogli biti na mnogim mjestima,
today you could have been at many other different places.
ali oni, evo vidi kada vidim da i ljudi idu na brdo kazanja.
But when I see people going up the Apostolate hill,
Kada hodaju po tome kamenu,
when they're walking up the stony pathway,
često mnogi ljudi idu i bosi.
many people very often they go in their bare feet.
Oni su napravili taj put od svojih nogu.
That pathway was made by their steps.
I uvijek razmišljam,
And I always think,
kada bi samo taj kamen mogao progovoriti,
if only those stones could talk.
koliko molitava,
How many prayers said up there?
koliko suza,
How many tears shed over there?
koliko je naših koljena kleklo na taj.
How many of our knees knelt on those rocks and stones?
Koliko braće,
And how many people were converted there?
koliko je radosti poteklo sa toga mjesta.
And how much joy started running from that place.
To je ono lijepo čuti, to je ono lijepo iz Medjugorje.
And that's something absolutely beautiful, what takes place in Medjugorje and what we bring home from
Jer
Medjugorje.
nam Gospa kaže, sjetimo se,
Because let us remember, Our Lady says to us,
draga djeco,
dear children,
dovoljno je da mi vi predate vaša srca.
it's enough for you to surrender your hearts to me,
Ostalo ću ja sama učiniti.
and I will do the rest.
I upravo ovdje u Medjugorju,
And exactly here in Medjugorje,
neka učine to. Neka učine to.
let yourself do this.
Kada su počela kazanja ovdje u Medjugorju,
When the apparition started here in Medjugorje,
ja sam imao 10 godina.
I was only 10 years old.
Ja sam najmlađi.
I'm the youngest of 6 visionaries.
To se vidi.
And you can tell straight away, right?
Ja se osjećam još kao da imam 10 godina.
Jakov says, I still feel as if I was still 10 years old boy.
Iako sam postao dijete,
Although I'm now a granddad.
to je velika radost.
And it's a great joy. It's a great joy to become a granddad.
Kada su prije kazanja,
Before the apparition started,
ljudi često razmišljaju, pa vidjeli su bilo nešto prije posebno, pa je se Gospa ukazala.
some people were thinking, you know, visionaries were some special people, so that's why Our Lady appeared to them.
Ja sam bio dijete prije kazanja koje svako drugo dijete.
No, before the apparition started, I was just an ordinary kid as any other kid.
Bilo mi je najvažnije da budem sa svojim prijateljima, da se igram.
For me, the most important thing was to be out with my friends, to play with them and to hang around with them.
Živio sam onu vjeru djeteta.
And I lived a faith of a child.
Ono što te uče roditelji.
You know, what do your parents
Kao
teach
što
you?
svaka kršćanska obitelj uči svoje dijete.
As any other Christian family is teaching their children.
Da budeš dobar,
Be good,
da ideš na svetu mis.
behave yourself, go to mass.
Svaku večer sam molio sa svojom mamom.
And every evening I was praying with my mom.
A bilo mi je nekada i teško.
And there were times when I found it very difficult.
Mama mi je uvijek govorila,
And my mother would always say to me,
Bog je na nebu,
God is in heaven.
a Gospa je na nebu.
Our Lady is in heaven.
Oni nas uvijek gledaju.
They can always see us, and they're watching us.
Nisam znao da se Gospa može ukazati.
I never knew that Our Lady could appear.
A posebno da se to meni može desiti.
Imagine that that can happen to me.
I ja uvijek kažem
So I always say,
da je Gospa birala najbolje.
if Our Lady had been looking for the best ones,
Sigurno mene ne bi zabrala.
Jakov says for sure she wouldn't have chosen me.
Ali,
But
kada Bog ima neki plan s tobom,
when God has a plan with you,
ti jednostavno ne možeš da ne odgovoriš na njegov poziv.
you simply have to answer to his call.
Sjećam se toga prvoga dana.
And I remember that first day.
Kada sam došao na brdo ukazanja,
I was up on the Apostolate Hill,
a kako sam do gore došao, toga se ne sjećam.
and I don't even remember how I got to the top of
Jer
the
nije
hill,
postao puteljak ovaj.
because the pathway at that time did not exist.
Ali ja se sjećam onoga najljepšega.
But I do remember what was the most beautiful.
Kada sam prvi put klekao ispred Gospe.
I remember when for the first time I knelt in front of Our Lady.
Kada sam ispred sebe vidio najljepšu ženu na svijetu.
When before me I was able to see the most beautiful woman in the world.
Kada sam vidio najljepše oči.
When I was able to see the most beautiful eyes.
Koliko mira, koliko ljubavi u tim očima.
And how much peace and how much love I could see in those eyes.
Ali u istom trenutku to je počelo osjećati moje srce.
And at the same time, at the same moment, my heart started feeling all this.
Istog trenutka,
And in that very moment,
kao da sam čuo riječ u svome srcu.
as if I could hear the words in my heart,
To je tvoja majka.
this is your mother.
I počeo sam voljeti Gospu kao svoju majku.
And I started loving Our Lady as my own mother.
I prihvatio je kao svoju majku.
And I accepted her as my mother.
Prvog dana nisu bile potrebne riječi.
That first day, no words were necessary,
Jer to je bilo nešto posebno.
because that was something
Sama
special.
ta radost, sami taj mir.
All that joy, all that
To
peace,
je bilo nešto novo za mene.
that was something all new
Nešto
to me.
prelijepo.
Something absolutely
I
beautiful.
sjećam se kada je završilo prvo kazanje.
And I remember when the first apparition was over,
Cijelu večer sam proveo u molitvu i razmišljanju.
all that evening and night I spent in prayer thinking,
Da li će se to ponovo dogoditi?
will she come again?
I molio sam Gospodina da se to dogodi.
And I was praying to the Lord that may happen.
Jedva sam čekao dan kada će doći sutra taj dan.
And I couldn't wait for tomorrow to come,
To vrijeme
for that time to come,
da idem na to mjesto.
for me to go back to that place.
I kada smo ponovo došli sutra na to mjesto,
And then the following day, we went up and we went to the same place.
imali smo ponovno kazanje.
Our Lady appeared to us again.
I ja mogu reći, od tog trenutka
And I can really say that from that moment on,
za mene počinje jedan novi život.
a new brand life started for me.
Što sada reći?
And what do I say now?
Kako zahvaliti Gospodinu?
How can I give thanks to God for all that I've received?
To neću nikada moći.
I will never ever be able to
Ja
do
sam
that.
svjestan toga.
I'm completely aware of this.
Bog mi je dao veliku milost,
God has given me a great grace,
veliki dar,
a great gift,
veliku odgovornost.
and a great responsibility at the same time.
Lijepo je vidjeti Gospu,
It is beautiful to be able to see Our Lady.
ali ja sam primio preko Gospe još jedan veći dar,
But through Our Lady, I received even a greater gift,
da upoznam Isusa Krista,
and that is to get to know Jesus
da
Christ,
upoznam Boga kao svoga Oca.
to get to know God as my own Father.
Ispočetka nije bilo lako.
And in the beginning, it wasn't easy.
Ostavit ćemo po strani komunizam i ono sve što smo prošli.
We leave aside the time of the communist regime that was on at that time and all that we visionaries went through because of that. We leave all that aside.
Možda smo jedini koji imaju na papiru od svih liječnika gdje je napisano da smo normalni.
Jakov says probably 6 of us Medjugorje visionaries are probably the only 6 people in the world who have a written document showing that they are normal. Because we are given the document saying that we're normal by the doctors.
Sad neko ne odluče.
Now you decide. We have the paper signed.
Toliko ispitivanja.
So many interrogations, so many questioning.
Ali čega sam se ja najviše bojao?
But one thing that I was afraid of most was,
Da li ću moći odgovoriti na toj Božjoj odgovornosti koju mi je dao?
will I be able to respond to this responsibility that God has given me?
To me najviše mučilo.
That was something that was bothering me.
Jer ja sam bio dijete.
Because I was just a kid.
Sjećam se kada nas Gospa poziva da molimo 7 Oče naša, Zdravo Marija i slava Otcu.
And I remember when Our Lady invited us to pray 7 Our Fathers, 7 Hail Marys, and 7 Glory Bees.
A rekao sam,
I said,
pa to nije to.
that's okay.
Teško.
It's not hard.
Poslije Gospa kaže,
Then later on Our Lady said,
molite jednu grunicu.
pray a rosary a day.
Poslije Gospa kaže, molite 3 grunice.
Then Our Lady later on said, pray all 3 rosaries a day.
Poslije kaže, molite 3 sata na dan.
Then later on she said, pray for 3 hours every day.
Idite na misu svaki dan ako je.
Go to Mass every day.
Onda sam rekao, ja to nikada neću moći
Then I
poslati.
said to myself, my God, will I ever be able to do this?
Ali,
But
kada sam se nalazio u teškim situacijama,
when I found myself in difficult moments in my life,
kada sam ostajao u tišini, kada sam molio,
when I spent time in silence praying,
kada je moje srce počelo osjećati olakšanje,
when my heart started feeling relief,
kada sam imao toliko pitanja o životu,
when I had so many questions
kada
in
sam
my
prosto
life,
molitvu počeo dobivati odgovore,
and when through prayer I started receiving answers,
onda molitva postaje radost za tebe.
then the prayer becomes a joy.
I postaje tvoja svakodnevnica.
And then the prayer becomes part of your daily life.
Jer bez molitve ne možeš ništa.
Because without prayer, you cannot do anything.
Ja znam, oni su došli ovdje u Medjugorje sa mnogim potrebama.
I know that you have come here to Medjugorje with many needs and with many petitions.
Jer često mi hodočasnici kažu,
Because very often pilgrims say to me,
možeš li ovo prenijeti Gospod?
could you say this to Our Lady? Could you say that?
Evo ja njima želim reći,
But I really desire to say to you,
zašto to sami ne mogu prenijeti?
why don't you do it yourself?
Zašto to moramo mi prenijeti?
Why do we have to say that to Our Lady?
Gospa je s nama.
Our Lady is with all of us.
Ona je sada s nama.
She's here with us now.
Gospa, evo, reći mi jedan primjer.
I will just give you an example.
U 17 godina koliko sam vidio Gospu,
During this period of 17 years in which I was able to see Our Lady every day,
Gospa nikada nije rekla,
Our Lady never ever said,
dragi Jakov.
Dear Jakov.
Ona kaže jednostavno, draga djeco.
She simply says, Dear children.
Zato dovoljno da se mi otvorimo prema Gospi
So it's enough just for us to open towards Our
i
Lady
da predamo sve one svoje poteškoće, sve svoje križeve u njezine Isusa.
and that we surrender all our difficulties, all our crosses in her hands and in the hands
Jer
of
ono što
Jesus.
su željeli reći da mi kažemo Gospi,
And all what you wanted us to say to Our Lady,
to mogu sami učiniti.
you can do it yourselves.
Ja sam proveo svoje djetinjstvo sa Gospom.
I spent my whole childhood with Our Lady,
Kako je bilo lijepo odrastati u Gospi.
and how beautiful it was to grow up with Our Lady.
Unatoč mnogim poteškoćama.
And regardless of all the difficulties,
Ali kako se Bog pobrine za sve.
you see that God really takes care of everything.
Eto, ja sam vidio Gospu.
I was able to see Our Lady,
Gospa me dovodi do glavnog cilja,
and Our Lady has brought me to the main goal.
da upoznam Boga kao svoga Oca.
She helped me to get to know God as my own Father.
I da dolazi do onaj teži trenutak.
And then a difficult moment happened in my life.
Tada umire moja majka.
My
Poslije 2
mother
godine kasnije.
dies 2 years after the apparition started.
Godinu dana umire moj otac.
A year later, my father dies.
Ja nemam braće i sestara.
I have no brothers or sisters.
Ja sam ostao sam.
I was on my own.
To je sam pod navodnicima.
And that is under quotation marks
Ja
on my
nikada
own.
nisam bio sam.
Because I was never alone.
Bilo je teških trenutaka.
There were difficult moments in my life.
Gdje ti fali jedan zagrljaj,
When you miss being hugged,
gdje ti fali jedan poljubac,
when you miss being kissed,
kada plačeš.
when you're crying.
Ali baš u tome trenutku
But exactly in those moments,
tvoje srce osjeti te riječi.
your heart could feel the words,
Nisi sam,
you're not alone.
ja sam s tobom.
I am with you.
Ja se brinem za tebe.
I take care of you.
Dovoljno je samo da mi se predaš.
It's enough for you just to surrender your life to me.
Tako se Bog pobrinio za mene.
And in that way, God took care of me.
Poslije sam poznao svoju suprugu.
Later on, I met a girl who became my wife.
Bog mi je dao 3 velike dara.
And God gave me 3 enormous gifts
To su moja djeca.
and 3 children of mine.
Rekao sam mi sad sam i djed, i
And I already shared with you that I've become a granddad.
I sve se
that I have a
Bog je se
grandson.
pobrinio za cijeli moj život.
And you see how God took care of my whole life.
I sada, 2013. godine,
And in 2013,
pitam se
I started asking myself,
kako Bogu još više zahvaljivati na svemu što mi je dao.
how could I give even more thanks to God for all that I've received?
I tada ti Bog, ja sam shvatio tako i prošla sam jedan teži period.
And before that 2013, I had gone through a difficult period of my life.
Jedan križ.
There was a cross in my life.
I kažem Gospodinu, hvala ti na tome križu.
And then I simply said, God, thank you for that cross.
Jer mi je služio da razmišljam dosta.
Because that cross helped me and served me to think more,
Da se više molim.
to pray more,
Da postavljam i sebi mnoga pitanja.
to ask myself more questions.
Pitao sam se,
And then I started asking myself,
što mogu učiniti više za Boga?
what else could I do? Something more that I could do for God.
Jer najlakše je ovako sjesti ispred njih i svjedočiti.
Because it's easy for me to sit down in front of the pilgrims and to give my testimony.
A to radim preko 40 godina.
I've been doing this for over 40 years now.
Ja sam Bogu želio još više zahvaliti.
And I just wanted to give even more thanks to God for everything.
Kada je prošao taj teži period,
And that difficult period of my life finished,
Bog me doveo do našeg župnika,
God has brought me here to our parish priest.
s kojim sam razgovarao.
And then I spoke to him.
Sve sam ovo rekao što sam njima sada rekao.
I shared with him all what I've just shared with you.
I rekao sam da bi nešto želio činiti za našu župu.
And I just said to the parish priest that I wanted to do something for our parish.
Nakon 3 dana,
3 days later,
mi smo se sreli ovdje u crkvenom dvorištu
we met again here on the church ground of the parish.
i on kaže,
And then he said to me,
imam nešto za te,
I have something for you.
da činiš.
Something for you to do.
Ja sam sretan.
And I was so happy and excited.
Jer ja sam imao svoje planove
Because I had my own plans and ideas,
koje sam mu rekao da bi želio.
which I presented before him, which I kind of said
Što sam
that I wanted
smatrao
to
da bi
do.
mogao raditi.
And I thought that that was something that I could do.
Ali kada smo se našli tu u crkvenom dvorištu,
However, when the two of us met here on the church ground,
on me vodi prema jednoj kućici
he started guiding me towards one little house.
i mene već hvata panika.
And I was already panicking
Jer to je najstarija kuća ovdje u nas.
because I knew that that was the oldest house here on the church ground.
I prije je bila štala od naših svećenika.
And that little house used to be a stable.
On otvara vrata
He opened the door of that little house,
i ja vidim samo jednu plastičnu stolicu.
and inside of that house I could only see one plastic chair.
Kaže, on sav sretan.
And he's so happy.
Jakove, ovo je tvoj.
Says, Jakov, this is your office.
I sad ja njega gledam,
And I'm looking at him.
šta se sa njim dešava.
What's wrong with him?
Ali tada dolazi odgovor na sva moja
But
pitanja.
then an answer to all my questions.
Kaže Marinko,
Father Marinko, the parish priest, said,
ja želim da ovo postane ured za potrebe.
I want this office to become the office for the needy.
Shvatio sam, to je odgovor na moje pitanje.
And then I understood that was the answer to my questions.
Ali shvatio sam još jednu stvar.
But I also understood one other thing.
Bog mi daje novu milost.
God is giving me a new grace.
Od sada mogu svjedočiti svojim rukama,
From now on, I can even give my witness with my hands,
pomagajući braći i sestrama koji su potrebni.
helping brothers and sisters who are in need.
To je trebao biti ured za našu župu,
At the very start, it was supposed to be an office just for our parish.
ali ubrzo je se za te urede čulo na mnoge razne strane van Medjugorje.
But soon, all around Medjugorje and in the places far from Medjugorje, people heard about what we were doing here.
I tada počinju moje posjete obitelji.
And then I started visiting different
To mi je
families.
bilo najteže.
And that was something that I found very hard.
Nije teško doći do njih.
It's
Sjedneš u auto.
It's not easy kind of to get to them. You get in your car, you drive, and you go to visit them.
Ali svatko od nas ima dostojanstvo.
But every person has his or her own dignity.
A vjerujte mi,
And trust me, believe me,
onaj siromašan čovjek,
those who are poor,
on ima još veće dostojanstvo.
they even have greater dignity
Sjećam se
than
toga
us.
prvoga susreta.
And I really remember that first meeting.
Kada sam došao u jedan dom,
I went to see a family,
pokucao sam na vrata,
and I knocked on the door of their family house.
izašla je žena,
And a woman stood on the door.
ona mi ništa nije rekla.
She said nothing.
Ona me je samo zagrlela
She just hugged me.
i počela je plakati.
And she just started crying.
To su bile suze radosnice.
And those were tears of joy.
I tada shvaćam u svom srcu.
And then in my heart, I understood
Ono prvo što moramo dati tim ljudima
the first thing that we have to give to those people,
i čega smo svi mi najpotrebniji,
and what we all are in the greatest need of,
to je ljubav.
is love.
Da se ti ljudi osjećaju voljeni,
They also want to feel loved,
da nisu sami,
that they are not alone,
da se neko brine za
that
njih.
there is someone who is taking care of them.
Ili jednostavno da oni nisu drugačiji.
Because, or simply just to say that they feel that they're not different to
Onda
us.
dolaze ostale vrste pomoći.
And then you help them in many other different ways.
Tada je počeo dolaziti mnogo ljudi sa potrebama.
Then many people started contacting us and asking for help because they were in need.
Ja sam do 2016. godine bio sam.
Till 2016, I was on my own there in the office.
Kako sam sve to izdržao?
And how was I able to endure all that?
Kroz jednu stvar.
Just one thing helped me.
Jer sam spoznao u svome srcu i
I
osjetio,
understood and I felt in my heart
pomagajući drugima,
that helping people,
ti primaš mnogo više.
you receive far more.
I tada postavljaš sebi mnoga pitanja.
And then you ask yourselves many questions.
Koliko ti zahvaljuješ Gospodinu
How much do you thank to God for everything?
na malim stvarima?
For little things.
Evo uzmemo primjer jedan.
Let's take just one example.
Evo ja imam obitelj.
I have a family of my own.
Moja djeca imaju kruh svaki dan na stolu.
My children have bread served on the table every day.
Oni imaju svoje roditelje.
They have their parents.
Oni imaju nekako koji će ih zagrliti,
They have someone who will hug them.
da ih voli reći im.
Someone who will say to them, I
Ali
love
vidiš
you.
drugu stranu.
And then you see the other side.
Koliko djece danas pati.
How many children nowadays are suffering.
Koliko roditelja pati što ne mogu svoje djeci dati osnovne stvari.
How many parents are suffering nowadays because they cannot provide the basic things for their children.
To je žalostno.
And it's so sad to see it.
2016. godine
And in 2016,
kažem Gospodinu,
I said to the Lord,
potreba je puno.
there is a lot of need.
Ja sam više ne mogu.
I'm on my own and I cannot make it on my own.
Pobrini se.
You take care of this.
Uvijek se sjećam
And I always will remember,
kada sam sjedio u tom uredu jedan dan,
I was in the office there sitting.
jedan mladi dečko je pokucao na vrata.
A young man knocked on the door of the office.
Ja sam mislio da je neki čovjek u potrebi.
And I thought that it was a man who was in need,
Pitao sam
asking for
kakva mogu
something.
pomoći.
So I asked him, how can we help you?
On kaže meni,
And then he said to me,
kako ja tebe mogu?
how can I help you?
Ja kažem, a Bože, hvala ti.
And then I said, God, thank you.
On dovodi sutra svoga prijatelja.
The following day he brought his friend.
Njegov prijatelj dovodi svog prijatelja.
His friend brought his friend.
I tako nastaju volonteri.
And in that way, volunteers were born.
Te godine postajemo i oficijalno humanitarna udruga
That year, we became officially humanitarian organization.
I fra Mariko nam je dao ime,
And the parish priest, Father Mariko, gave us the name,
jedno prelijepo ime.
the most beautiful name,
To je Marijine ruke.
Mary's hands.
Evo kada pogledaj ovu sliku iza nas,
When you look at the painting, which is behind me, Jakov says,
Gospine ruke su ispružene prema nama.
and it's in front of you, you can see that Our Lady's hands are extended towards us.
Da nas dovede do Isusa.
She desires to bring us to Jesus.
Mi želimo biti te Gospine ispružene ruke,
And we desire to be the extended hands of Our Lady.
koje će prvo biti ispružene prema Isusu i prema Mariji,
Hands of ours that first will be extended towards Jesus and Mary,
a onda prema svakome čovjeku koji je potreban.
and then towards every person who is in need.
Evo čime se sve udruga bavi.
So what do we do?
Mi nismo bazirani na jednu vrstu pomoći.
We're not based on one type of help only.
Mi se brinemo sada za 700 obitelji.
We at the moment take care of 700 families.
Pomažemo u hrani, podijelimo 700 paketa hrane svaki mjesec.
We help with food. Every month we deliver 700 boxes of food.
Pomažemo ljudima koji još nemaju svoj dom.
We help people who do not have a home to live in.
Mi smo i rentali dom za njih.
We can rent homes for them.
Pomažemo odjeći u namještaju,
We help them with clothes, with furniture,
u lijekovima.
medications.
Obnovili smo mnoge kuće,
We refurbished many houses.
čistimo domove.
We clean their
starijim
homes,
osobama koji
especially the houses of the elderly people who cannot do it anymore by themselves.
Ima jedna stvar
But there is one thing
koju sam ja želio od početka,
that I really wanted from the very start,
ali nije bilo mogućnosti,
but it was not possible to do it
jer mi živimo od providnosti.
because we live on providence,
Posebno od časnika koji dođu ovdje.
especially of pilgrims who come and visit this
I
place.
tada dolazi pandemija.
And then the time of pandemic happened.
I tada se pitamo,
And then we were asking ourselves,
i volonteri me pitaju,
and the volunteers were also asking me,
kako ćemo dalje?
how are we going to continue?
U jednom trenutku sam se i ja zapitao.
And in one moment, I also said to myself, what do we do now?
A onda sam rekao,
But then I also said,
zašto se ja moram brinuti?
why do I have to worry?
Predajmo Bogu.
Let us surrender all this to God.
I vjerujte mi,
And trust me, believe me,
za vrijeme pandemije
at the time of the pandemic,
mi smo primili 3 puta više nego kada je bilo najviše kod časnika ovdje.
we received so much help, 3 times definitely more than at any ordinary time when pilgrims were.
Za vrijeme pandemije ostvarujem ono što sam želio od početka.
And at the time of the pandemic, we realized what I wanted from the very start.
A to je pučka kuhinja,
And that was the public kitchen.
koja se nalazi u bližini Medjugorje
Public kitchen is situated nearby Medjugorje,
i koji svaki dan podijeli 150 obroka.
and every day 150 meals are served to people.
Kako je lijepo
And how beautiful it is
kada vidiš jednog mladog čovjeka
to see a young man, young person
koji sebe želi dati za druge.
who wants to give himself or herself for someone
Evo
else.
ja vidim volontere,
When I look at the volunteers,
kada idu nekome raditi nešto u njihovom domu,
when they go to visit those people and to do some work in their homes,
nekada očistiti neki dom,
sometimes they go and just clean their
nekada je
houses.
teško vidjeti to sam očima.
Sometimes it's not really easy to look at all the dirt.
I kada oni to se urade,
But when they finish all the work,
i kada se vrate u ured,
and when they return and they stop by the office,
koliko su oni samo sretni.
my God, they are so happy.
To je ona mladež koju mi treba.
That's the youth that we need nowadays.
Ne onu mladež koja stoji svaki dan na mobitelu.
We don't need the youth who are on the phone every single second of their life.
Evo prođem i ovdje ne moram da me krivo razumiju.
I hope you will not misunderstand me.
To se dešava i kod nas.
It's here, it's the same here.
Uđemo u neki restoran,
You go in a restaurant,
sjede 4-5 mladi.
4 or 5 young people are sitting together.
Oni ne razgovaraju.
No one is talking to one another.
Oni su samo na mobitelu,
They're just on their phones.
na Facebooku,
They're checking Facebook,
Instagram,
Instagram,
koliko su
how
lajkovali,
many likes they got,
koliko followera.
how many followers are today with them.
Je li to važno?
Is this really important?
Današnji nam svijet nudi sve,
Today's world is offering everything to us,
ali nam ne nudi ono najosnovnije
but the world is not offering to us what's the most important
i ono što će nas spasiti.
and something that will save us.
A to je Isus
And that is Jesus.
i njegova ljubav.
Jesus and his love.
Evo ja ih pozivam
Jakov says, I invite you all,
kada se vrate svoje domove,
when you return home,
kada sretnu nekoga beskućnika,
when you meet someone who is homeless,
nekog siromašnog,
someone who is poor,
nekog ko leži na ulici.
someone who is lying down on the street.
Mi često suđujemo te ljude.
Very often we're inclined to judge those people.
Jesmo li bili u njihov život?
But did we live their lives?
A jesmo li mi tu da sudimo?
Are we to judge?
Da li smo ikada stali kraj toga čovjeka koji spava na ulici?
But have we ever stopped by the person who was sleeping on the street?
Jesmo li ga pitali kako si?
Have we ever stopped and asked him, how are you?
Jesmo li ga ikada zagrli?
Have we ever hugged him?
A kažemo da smo kršćani.
And yet we say that we are Christians.
Lako je reći ja sam kršćan.
It's easy to say, I'm a Christian.
Idem nedjeljom na svetu misu.
I attend Holy Mass on Sunday.
Ja molim.
I pray.
A gdje su nam djela?
But what about our deeds?
Jer ja vjerujem.
Because I do believe, Jakov says,
Vjera bez djela.
that faith without
Ili
deeds
se mrtva vjera.
is a dead faith.
I upravo grleći toga čovjeka
And
koji
hugging
spava na
that
ulici.
person who is sleeping down there on the street,
Ti grliš Isusa.
you are hugging or embracing
Jer u
Jesus.
svakoj od tih osoba trebali prepoznati Isusa.
Because in every person, we should recognize Jesus Christ.
Još na kraju,
And at the very end, I would say,
ja znam kada se vraćaju iz Medjugorja,
I know that when you go back home from Medjugorje,
koliko se samo suvenira ponese iz Medjugorja.
that you buy so many souvenirs here in Medjugorje.
Sve je to lijepo.
And all that is beautiful.
Koliko krunica,
How many rosary beads we buy.
koliko križeva,
How many crucifixes.
ostalih stvari.
The other religious items.
Ali pitamo li se,
But do we ask ourselves,
hoćemo li moliti na tu krunicu?
are we going to use those rosary beads and pray?
Hoćemo li kleknuti ispred križa i klanjati se Isusu?
Are we going to kneel before the crucifixes we bought and venerate Jesus?
Hoće li Biblija biti na vidljivom mjestu u našoj obitelji samo kao suvenir?
Will the Bible be on a visible place in our family home just like a decoration and a souvenir?
Ili da li ćemo je čitati ili meditirati?
Or we're going to read it and reflect and meditate upon it?
Kako često razmišljam,
Very often Jakov says, I think,
kada bi umjesto naših televizora
if instead of the TV sets in our houses,
bilo sveto pismo,
we could put the Holy Bible,
kako bi bili svi puno bolji.
we would all be better people.
Ima jedan suvenir Medjugorje.
But there is a souvenir here in Medjugorje,
Nije moja slika,
and it's not my photograph, Jakov says.
koji ne košta ništa.
And the souvenir doesn't cost a penny.
Ne treba nam prtljaka.
You do not need a suitcase for
Niti
it.
će imati problema na granicama.
And you won't have any difficulties on the border crossing with it, with the
Potrebno je naše
customs.
srce.
You only need your heart.
A tu su Gospodne poruke.
And that souvenir are the messages of Our Lady.
A to je molitva,
The prayer,
obraćenje,
conversion,
mir,
peace,
post
fasting,
i sveta misa.
and Holy Mass.
Ako smo to ponijeli iz Medjugorja,
If we are bringing this home, back home from Medjugorje,
ako smo to počeli živjeti,
if we have started living all this,
onda smo uistinu shvatili što je Medjugorje.
then we truly understood what Medjugorje is all about.
Hvala.
Thank you so much for your attention.
Završit ćemo sa molitvom.
We're going to conclude with a short prayer. Thank you so much, Jakov. Thank you.
Zdravo Mariju, milosti.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with you. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus.
Sveta
Holy
Marija,
Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
kraljice mira,
Queen of peace,